Sunoco finishing top Sunoco Rookie of the Year contender, finishing in 8th today and overcoming certainly several setbacks as the race unfolded, but he battled his way back, and that is Kyle Larson. And he's the driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet. And Kyle, just talk about certainly, you know, you had some bad things happen early. Then I believe you had a pit road speeding penalty. But you know, you had to admire the fortitude and the persistent effort of the 42 team today.
Yeah, man, we had to fight really hard today. You know, I hate it for whoever got collected in my spin in the beginning. I'm sure you know, Martin Truex was in it because he was racing me really hard all day when he was beat up. So I mean, I feel bad for him. And then and we fought our way back to the top 5, and then you know, pretty much stayed there for most of the race. And then you know, there with under 50 laps to go, I sped on pit road, and I was really bummed about that because I knew we would have a shot at the win. And you know, then I fought really hard after that to you know, finish 8th. And I think Shai made great pit calls all day long, and just you know, I screwed up. So hate it, but you know, still somewhat happy to get a top 10. Just disappointed that I let my team down.
Questions for Kyle Larson. Nate Ryan has one right here front and center.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Kyle, 2 things. One, it seemed like you were faster. A lot of drivers were saying it appeared you had more downforce after the bumper cover came off. Can you discuss that? Were you surprised by it? And also, Tony seemed like he was displeased about something. Did you understand what was going on there?
Yes, that's Tony being Tony. So, yeah, I was on with the Tony issue. I was pretty tight on whoever's inside of me on the restart, and I was looking in my mirror and saw him, you know, juke to the right, so I juked to the right, and he hit me. And I don't know, he's just trying to teach me a lesson, I'm guessing. So, oh well, that's 2 weeks in a row. But you know, the rear bumper. Okay, yeah, I've never had that happen before, and it happened so early in the race that I don't know how it would have handled had I had a rear bumper. Either way, I think we would have had a really good car because we were good in practice, but you probably did help a little bit. Yeah, in practice. Same kind of deal. Brad, we did talk about it.
Ironically. I told him Tony never did that to me.
Yeah. Our third place finisher has also joined us, and that's Brad Keselowski. He drives the number 2 Miller Lite Ford for Team Penske. And Brad, certainly it was a race today that involved a little bit of everything: speed, power, strategy, pit road performance. Just talk about how the number 2 team fared today.
Yeah, we just didn't have the speed really all weekend to be a front runner in the sense of, you know, contending to win based on speed. But the guys did a great job with execution. I thought we executed really well. We had a lot of good restarts, pretty decent on pit road today. Solid strategy. Just, I told somebody before, Joey Logano told us, we were talking before the race started, just we needed a good blue collar day, and that's kind of what today was for us. You know, we just kind of trudged through it and came away with another top 3 effort, which is good, but it's not great. You know, we want the wins, especially here at Michigan. That would mean a lot, and just need a little bit more speed to be able to get there. And I thought Kevin was probably the car to beat there, and you know, the yellow sequence was kind of strange how that played out and cost him a shot at it. But you know, we were probably going to end up 3rd to 5th no matter what.
Take questions now for Kyle or Brad. If you have one, raise your hand. Anybody downstairs right here to the left, please, and then Nate.
George from Macomb Daily. Brad, if we assume that Hendrick right now is the team to beat, how do you assess the other contenders? And you know, like Menard had a nice run today. Harvick has been strong, but came up short. Who do you think is the next to kind of challenge them?
I don't really think there is anybody in the wings. I think the way this year's package has kind of come together, where we're at now is where we're going to be for the remainder of the year. You might see some small gains from some teams, but I don't see anything significant coming. You know, I think right now the Penske cars are probably the best when it comes to balance, track to track. You know, the Hendrick cars are probably the best anywhere where it takes power to run. You know, these tracks are certainly one of those and Kevin Harvick, his team is probably the fastest week in and week out. So I don't really see that changing for the duration of the season. I think what you're going to find in the development cycle has been kind of found by this time in the year, and maybe there's a little bit more left on the table, but not enough to take a team that's not there to be there. That's just kind of my experience. But we all got a little bit of work to do because it's pretty obvious that the Hendrick engines are way ahead of everyone else. So usually that's not something you catch up with in one season. As far ahead as they are right now, they're probably a full season ahead of everyone. So we got work to do to get there. Thankfully, we've got I can't remember 12, 13 weeks to the chase starts. I know we've got some stuff coming up for that, but I think we've got Penske. I think we're right there, kind of just maybe a half a nose behind the Hendrick cars or Hendrick powered cars, whatever you want to call them. But we need just a little bit more, and if we can do that, I really feel like we can kind of have a strong march over the fall and have a shot at running for the championship. But I guess to kind of finish that question or finish the answer to the question up, I think what you're seeing right now is probably the top 5 or 10 is what it's going to be when it comes down to money time in the chase.
Let's go to Nate Ryan, then we'll come over here to Mike. You're good? Okay, let's go to Mike.
That was your question? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Go ahead, Mike, to the left.
Brad, based on today, I don't think you've been sharing too much information with the Roush guys. I think they finished way down. Were you surprised at their performance?
I know there's a lot of stuff going on over there. It's not really fair for me to really judge anything there because I don't know just enough to sound like a fool, or I know just enough to sound like a fool. So their stuff is. I know they would probably tell you they're not where they want to be, but I would always assume that there's something they have over there that we don't. I think the 99 team has been one of the strongest on pit road, and that's where we've probably been. That's probably our weak spot as a team. So there's probably something to learn there. So there's always something when you share information, and I know it's really important to Ford, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so, whether they're contending for wins or not.
Just a quick one to Kyle. The track and tires out there today. How did you find the race line, and how did the tires wear?
I was surprised how wide the racing actually got. It was we were all the way up into the third, fourth groove, probably there at the end of the race, and running up in the gray, which I was really surprised by, just because in my past Michigan experiences, it normally just the groove gets lower, and today it got lower, then worked its way up. And as far as tire wear, I don't think there was any issues. At least I don't think there was in my camp. I don't know about the other teams, but usually you don't see much tire wear on a newly repaved track.
Other questions for Brad, or right here in the middle? Brad or Kyle, and then Jim.
This is for Kyle, Pat DeCola, NASCAR.com. In light of Friday's news, your big news, just how important is it to you? What does it mean to you, to have another strong run on Father's Day, and how close do you guys feel you are to a win?
Yeah, it would have been cool to get a win today. I don't know. I guess it'll mean more next year. I didn't get to see my dad today. I texted him. They've been in Indiana watching Midget Week for the USAC series, and I'll actually go there after this to go watch. And I texted him, asked if he was even coming, and he said I'll probably get there right before the race starts and just go sit in the stands. So I told him to make sure he came to Victory Lane if I won. So we didn't get it done, but yeah, it was still a good day, and I'm sure he was happy to see me get a top 10 after all I had to deal with.
Any additional questions? Jim Utter, right here, front row, and then the man from Toledo. Yes.
Where's Kevin?
He's been here. It was quick. Charlotte Observer, Jim Utter, I apologize if you've touched on this a little bit already, but actually that's sort of what I wanted to ask. At the end of this race turned out to be a strategy race, and Kevin, Joey, and Matt Kenseth were like the first three teams that elected to to stay out and go off sequence. Was that, by some reason, was that likely to occur at some point at the end of the race by somebody, whether it was those three or someone else? Because it seemed like a similar ending as the Pocono race.
Yeah, I sympathize for, the crew chiefs here. This is such a tough race to call strategy-wise, and you're really at the mercy of debris yells at the end and where they fall. I thought Kevin was probably the guy to beat today, and probably he feels that way too, I would imagine. And the way that yellow fell just kind of completely killed him. But it's just the way it is.
Brad, Steve Slifka.
Go ahead. Let's get him a mic, please, so we can hear it. It's not working.
Brad, Steve Slifka from 13 ABC in Toledo. Sorry if you already touched on this, but obviously you want to win, but top three finish at Michigan native. How nice is that?
Yeah, it's always good to run well here, and we didn't run as well as we wanted to, but we certainly didn't run poorly. Like I said, it was a good day, not a great day. A third is nothing to hang your head on. We have consistency, which is good. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean much right now at this time of the year in the sense of points. But it does mean a lot to us in the sense of, overall morale and our ability to really make a push as the fall months come for the chase. So that's important to us, even if it might not show a tangible result in the short term. So I'm happy for that, but to be really happy, I'd want to win here today, and especially on Father's Day, it'd be really special for me and my family here in my home track in Michigan.
Any other questions? Well, we'll release these two guys. Guys, thanks for putting on a good show, and good luck next week at Sonoma.